Never mind.
Hi. Mind if I join you?
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Overman. What do you think of the club?
The decor is really unpleasant.
I chose that myself. I'm Colston, the manager of the club.
Pleased to meet you. How do I get out of this city?
Can you see I'm busy?
I'll take your turn for you.
And lose the game for me?
You're gonna lose anyhow.
Don't be so sure, Gallagher. I've got something up my sleeve.
I knew you were cheating.
Well, so are you.
Oh, nothing. Excuse me. Hi. Mind if I join you?
Well, hello yourself. They call me Babs.
Pleased to meet you. See you later.
Oh, don't count on it.
Excuse me. Can I have a drink, please?
No chance.
Why not?
House rules.
Excuse me. Do the rules prohibit me from drinking?
No, you can drink all you want, but I can't serve you.
You are the bartender, right?
But I'm not the cabaret.
How come you can get a drink and I can't?
I told you. It's the house rules. Colston would fire me if I gave you a drink.
I'm gonna complain about you.
Please yourself.
What are the band called?
The Hot Club Quartet.
But there's only 3 of them.
Yeah, the saxophonist OD'd last month.
Did the saxophonist OD on drugs?
No. Too much sax. He got overexcited and ruptured his lungs.
Never mind. Oh, nothing. The select button isn't lit. Pressing the buttons doesn't achieve anything. They look really happy. Or stoned. Hey guys, play some rock and roll. There's no sign of a lock or a card slot. There's a thumb-sized indentation in the plate. It doesn't react to my thumbprint.
Never mind.
Excuse me. Where does the locked door lead to?
To the wine cellar. Colston's the only one who can open it. It's programmed to read his fingerprints.
Never mind. Excuse me. Where does the locked door lead to?
Oh, that's the wine cellar.
I need to inspect your wine cellar.
Forget it, mister. Nobody gets in there but me.
Are we playing cards or what?
All right. This guy distracted me.
It's attached to some bricks via a pulley. I ought to move that trash. Ha! The
What was that splashing noise? Where has Spunky gone? Officer Blunt, come and help me, quickly!
It's too heavy to carry. Just for a second you scared me, but you're only dummies. They're not human. Someone's been making androids. They must have switches to activate them somewhere. Damned if I'm gonna look for them, though. There could be something useful in there. Wouldn't you know it? It's locked. There aren't any markings on it, or locks. You don't look so healthy. You should get out in the sunshine. His skin is cold, like plastic. There aren't any markings on it, or locks. This place is spooky. His skin is cold, like plastic. There aren't any markings on it. Oh no, not her, not Anita. Her skin is burnt and blistered. She appears to have been exposed to radiation. She appears to There aren't any markings on. He doesn't have any eyelashes. His skin is cold, like plastic. There aren't any markings. Yo, that's horrible. I don't think a severed head would be any use. It's a kind of bed with wheels. The wheels are locked in place. A ventilation shaft. Better keep away from the edge, or I'll get sucked off. They're not human. It's too. Tell me about your dandelion game.
Ah, it's brilliant. You get chased by these giant yellow weeds.
You mean dandelions are yellow? The gardener told me they were blue.
He's mad. He's not a real gardener.
How'd you know the gardener is a fake?
He's got green fingers.
That's the sign of a naturally talented gardener.
I saw him dipping them in the paint. Anyway, the plants are made of plastic.
You're a real help, Vincent.
No problem, Rob.
Don't wear out your thumbs. Excuse me. You told me dandelions were blue.
Did I? Well, what of it?
This boy assures me they're yellow.
Ugh, smart-assed little brat. All right, you got me sussed. I haven't had any formal training, but I've always dreamed of being a gardener. I love 'em, every little shrub and succulent. Those dainty blossoms waving their little stamens in the breeze.
All right, I get the point.
You won't report me, will you?
Why should I do that? Excuse me. Do you know a girl called Anita?
Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Why do you want to know?
She's been murdered. I found her body in the cathedral.
Can't see why you're telling me.
It's... There's no reply. It's an old... I need a key. Excuse me. What would you do if you found a body?
Go through its pockets.
No, seriously. A girl I know has been murdered.
It's a sign of the times. There's nothing as cheap as human life. With the exception of this club. How do you know it was murder?
I only met her a few hours ago, and she was fine then.
My advice is to keep quiet. You can't help her now, so look after yourself. Or you might wake up dead one morning.
Never mind. Hey, Lamb. What do you know about Anita's death?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The girl you sent to the reactor. She's been killed, Lamb.
Look, I don't know aught about murder. You might think I was hard on the lass, but I had nothing to do with her death.
Hey, Lamb. When did you last see Anita?
When I sent her to the testing room.
Why wasn't she given a rad suit?
I don't know, it's not my fault.
You deserve to lose your status. Now it's your turn to be a D-Link. Hey, Lamb. See you later. Excuse me. Never mind. Plastic overalls. Not very fashionable. There's a small monitor screen. The power in those things gives me the willies. If it wasn't for the heat shield, I'd be frazzled. It's an ID card, minus the security logo. The power in It might be old, but my coat is cool. Hey, Lamb. See you later. It's the Link Internet. I don't like the...
If that's you, Rob, listen carefully. You're the only one who can help. I was supposed to make contact with an agent from Hobart. Trouble is, the rendezvous was in a park on ground level. And now I'm a D-Link, I can't get there. The agent's name is Eduardo. I don't know how you'll get to Link, but beneath the city there are tunnels. The remains of the old subway. That could be a way in.
Excuse me. What's your name?
It's Eduardo. Why?
You're Anita's contact, right?
How come you know so much?
She left a message on her card.
Listen, do you know what's happened to Link?
I'm totally confused.
Link is a living, self-replicating organism. Originally, it served as an advisor to the Council, but it has gradually taken control.
How? And why?
We're really not sure. Hobart scientists have developed a virus. It will check Link's growth, if we can get it into the system.
Will you give me the virus?
I can't. It's been downloaded to Link Space. Anita was supposed to retrieve it, since she had a Shrievman port.
So have I. I owe it to Anita to get that virus.
No chance. It's bound to be guarded.
I can try at least. Excuse me. See you later. Know where I'd find the old subway?
Nah, I've never heard of it.
I thought all boys were into railways.
Get real? What planet are you on?
Sometimes I wonder. Don't wear it. Excuse me. Do you know anything about a subway?
I've dreamed about them.
Really?
First of all, I'm swimming around like... Then I get sucked up this long tunnel. It's all wet and warm, you know?
I was talking about a real subway. Never mind. Never mind. Is there a subway around here?
What?
I'm looking for the subway.
What are you, a train spotter? Hear that, Gallagher? This guy's a train spotter.
There's no law against that.
Only because there aren't any trains.
Look, guys, I'm not a train spotter.
Who asked you?
Excuse me. Is there a subway around here?
Oh, there used to be. The club was named after the station.
Where is the subway station?
You're standing in it. See the area in front of the stage. The track ran right through there.
Excuse me. Never mind. They look really happy. Hey, guys! There were greasy fingerprints on the glass.
Hey, get your hands off my drink, Buster.
Is there a John in this place?
Why do you want to know that?
Well, I might need to use it. Surely the club's got to have one by law.
Have you seen the John Gallagher?
I don't need one. I don't drink like you do.
No, I've noticed that. Hey! Silence in court! Security Services, Department of Justice, Inc. Judge Chutney presiding. Court is now in session.
Silence! I recognize that villain. An habitual criminal if ever I saw one.
That's Mr. Greaves, my lord. The counsel for the prosecution.
Silence when you speak to me. Now, who is the first contestant?
Defendant, my lord. The case of Union Security Services versus Howard Hobbins.
Howard Hobbins. Come on up. Nice to see you, Howard. You're not nervous, are you?
Not really.
The defendant is accused of gross contempt and assault of a security officer.
Oh, intolerable. What have you got to say for yourself, eh?
I've been framed, Your Honour. May I elucidate, my lord?
Go on then, but hurry up about it.
Officer Blunt was investigating a complaint made against Hobbins. After questioning the defendant, he was the victim of an assault.
Ah, monstrous! Off with his head!
Just a flipping minute. Who's defending me?
Defence? Is he entitled to any?
I'm afraid so, my lord.
Upon my soul, whatever next? Who'd be silly enough to defend this wretch? Very well, let's get on with round one. Fingers on the buzzers, everyone.
I wish to call Officer Blunt.
Call Officer Blunt!
Please tell the court what happened.
I was assaulted.
And is the culprit present in the court?
That's him in the overalls.
I rest my case, my lord.
Good. Where's my black cap?
We haven't heard the defence, my lord.
Is it really necessary? Oh, go on. Just don't take all day.
Now then, Officer Blunt. What was the nature of your injuries?
I got very wet.
But you didn't suffer any physical harm.
I could have caught a nasty cold.
Tell the court how you got wet.
While patrolling on Bellevue, I was saturated by a sudden shower.
Did you ascertain its source?
Oh, yeah. I heard laughter from the walkway above.
So, you saw the accused pour the liquid?
I couldn't see anything. My eyes were full of water. But I'd recognize his laugh anywhere.
Just how well do you know Hobbins?
I've never met him before.
And yet you say you recognized his laughter.
I don't know.
Who lodged the complaint against Hobbins?
Objection, my lord. Defense is contriving to lead the witness.
It was a simple question. I wish to establish the seriousness of the complaint made against my client.
I shall permit the witness to answer. However, I'm awarding Mr. Greaves 5 points for a well-timed interruption.
So who did lodge the complaint?
It was Daniel Piermont.
What was Mrs. Piermont's grievance?
Cruelty to her pet dog. I interviewed Hobbins on 4 occasions, but he still hasn't confessed.
4 interrogations suggest harassment.
Objection, my lord. Officer Blunt is not the subject of this trial.
Quite correct. Objection sustained. 10 points to the prosecution.
No further questions, Your Honor. I wish to call Mrs. Piermont.
Call Mrs. Piermont.
Hello, darling. Hello, Robbie. Hello, everyone.
Silence in court.
What was your complaint against Hobbins?
He was abused, my little poochie Bruce.
Disgraceful. I haven't had a dog abuse case since the infamous Spaniel Mangle scandals.
Did you witness the alleged attack?
Not exactly.
Then how did you know about it? Did the dog tell you?
Officer Blunt reported the incident to me.
How would you describe your pet dog?
Objection, Your Honor. This is a trial, not a dog show.
Objection overruled, Mr. Greaves. I want to get to the bottom of this doggy business.
He's an absolute darling. Everyone adores him.
Had you met Hobbins before this incident?
I don't recall ever seeing him. But one takes little notice of mere maintenance men.
No further questions, Your Honor. I'd like to question the defendant. Did you assault Officer Blunt?
Objection, my lord.
Why, man, what's wrong?
Repetition, my lord?
Objection overruled.
Are you guilty of assault, Howard?
Not me. I was fixing one of the cooling pipes, and it burst.
So Blunt's soaking was an accident?
Not exactly.
Why did the pipe burst?
Some joker had cut a power cable and overloaded the steam release in the power station. That's what damaged the cooling pipe.
Oh, I see. Did you laugh at Blunt's predicament?
Laugh? I'd nearly wet me pants.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Greaves, you may start the bonus round.
The facts speak for themselves, my lord. Hobbins is a cruel and callous man, with no respect for law and order. I recommend the maximum possible sentence.
Any comments from the defense?
I don't believe this is happening. This is total madness. You've all been warped in some way. And I think Link is the cause.
Silence! I've heard quite enough of this nonsense. So it's time for me to make my judgment. Howard Hobbins, you've won tonight's star prize. Life imprisonment. However, in view of your service to the city, I'm going to reduce your sentence. 2 hours community service. Court dismissed.
Doors are unremarkable. Court closed. See link for news. Excuse me. Never mind.
Hey, get...
Excuse me. Never mind. Excuse me. See you later.
Oh, don't...
The green select button is lit.
Hey, music lover. If you're looking for the best in sounds, I got 'em. The music of the spheres right here on Earth. So come on, get your fingers on my buttons. Let's make beautiful music together.
How offensive. Why they put voices in these machines is beyond me.
I'm all warmed up for you, baby.
Shut up and let me check the selections. Oh Lord, it's mostly country and western.
Nobody's perfect.
Ah, there are 3 tunes by the Resident Band.
So, what's your choice, big boy?
Long Beach. Excuse me. Never mind. Is there a...
What?
I'm looking for...
What are... Hear that? This guy...
There's no...
Only...
Look, guys.
Who are...
Is there a...
Why do you want...
Well, surely the...
Have you seen...
I don't need one.
No, I... Hey!
Oh... Never mind. The green so...
Hi there.
Oh, shut. I just want to choose without being hacked. You search... Excuse me. Is there a subway around here?
Oh, there used to be. The club was named after the station.
See you later.
Oh, don't...
There's a thumb-sized indentation in the plate. Oh, no. Excuse me. Do you know when...
I've dreamed.
Really?
First of all, then
I was taught... Never mind. Know where I'd find the old subway?
Nah.
I thought all boys were into rail...
Get real.
Sometime. Don't... Excuse me. Thanks again for the port, Doc.
It's a pleasure to do business with you.
Excuse me. Can you match my fingerprints to those on this glass?
Oh, yes. My machine will do that automatically.
It's not against the law, is it?
Whatever gave you that idea?
Don't security use them to check people's identities?
If they do, it's the first time I've heard of it. The usual procedure for identification of suspects is a retina scan at the post-mortem. Now, about these prints you requested. Open the panel on my machine and insert the glass. Then place your hands in the otodermatome.
Will this hurt, Doc?
Oh yes, quite considerably.
Excuse me. Thanks.
It's a...
There's a... It's a big box made of wood. That's too big and heavy to carry. It's made of thin chipboard. If it's for ventilation, it must lead somewhere. I can't reach it from here. The box isn't strong enough to support me. It's a solid wooden storage rack for wine bottles. I'd never shift that in 1,000 years. There's a thumb-sized indentation in the plate. The grill is too firmly attached to pull from the wall. The grill That's too big and heavy to carry. It's disappointingly empty. If it's for ventilation, it must lead somewhere. It's a solid wooden storage rack for wine bottles. If it's for ventilation, it must lead somewhere. The grill is too firmly attached to pull from the wall. Oh, It's an old-fashioned cylinder lock. It's an old trick, but it still works. Central, High Green, Museum, and St. James. They must be the names of the old subway stations. The map is painted on a big sheet of metal. Not the sort of map you'd fold and put in your pocket. It's a map of the subway, which means I'm getting close to Link. The stairway has been bricked up. Why did I waste my time doing that? Being in this city must be cracking me up. The subway. It's like a warren built by giant rabbits. It's out of reach. If this tunnel leads nowhere, I can always escape that way. The roof of the tunnel must have collapsed. I'm never going to be able to shift all that. There's something in there. Something horrible. The subway. The roof. The roof of the tunnel must have collapsed. I'm never going to be able to shift all that. There's something in... That appears to be a light socket. Whatever lives in there is scared of the light. No way am I going in there. It's an old advertisement for Anchor Insurance. I wonder if Anchor's grandfather was a complete zero, too. I'm not climbing up there just to get souvenirs. The picture is covered with mold and dirt. It's the station's name, Museum. I'm not climbing... Uh-oh, the tunnel roof doesn't look too stable. That thing's alive! I wonder what it is. It's warm and throbbing with a tough skin. There's no obvious way of opening it. That patch of plaster looks damp and crumbly. I've exposed the bricks beneath the plaster. The mortar holding those bricks has crumbled away. I can't quite reach it. The skin's too tough to tear with my fingers. It's penetrated the outer skin. The mortar holding those bricks has crumbled away. There's a hole where the brick was. I can't quite reach it. A good... That didn't achieve anything. It's penetrated the... It's stuck in the vein, but hasn't pierced it completely. Ugh! I made a hole right through the vein! Now it's stuck right in. It's a medical robot. There's no way of turning it off. It doesn't operate manually. There aren't any buttons to press. The cover must regulate the heat from below. It allows the heat to rise. It holds the grill secure. I can't reach it from here. I can't reach it from here. I can't reach it from here. It's the controls for opening the cover. It obviously opens like an iris. I can't reach it from here. I can't reach it from here. Better be careful I don't fall in there. Bubbling, boiling lava. Boy, that's hot! Better be careful I don't fall in there. Better be careful. Bubbling. I can't reach it from here. I can't reach it from here. It allows the heat. The cover. It holds the... Pulling the handle has loosened the grill. I can't pull it. It allows the heat to rise. It's the control. It's probably a ventilation grill. It's probably a It's recharging itself at the power supply. That's where the medical rope... It's activated by the robot's press... The slot gives access to an expansion port. How do you feel, Joe?
I'm completely operational, and all my circuits are functioning perfectly.
That's a relief. Is there any immediate danger?
If your presence here is detected, termination is more than likely. Negative.
What about the guy in the tank room?
Negative. The technician is an android. I advise you to avoid contact with it.
Are you really the Joey I grew up with? You don't sound like him.
That is unavoidable. My shell has a limited syntactic processor.
Oh well. At least you're not so argumentative. I want you to check out the tank room.
Please be more specific.
I want a detailed report on everything, especially that android.
The android could be dangerous.
Exactly. I don't want to risk my neck.
The growth tanks contain developing androids. Nourishment is supplied from a tank. The temperature is maintained by convection from an underground source. Access to the growth tanks is not possible. Access to the computer is denied. The tank contains chemicals on which the androids feed.
So, without it they'd die?
Affirmative.
Is there a way of draining the tank?
Manual evacuation is achieved by opening a tap.
Tell me about the android.
It is programmed to safeguard the developing androids.
Is he dangerous?
It's certainly stupid enough to constitute a threat.
Open the tap to the nutrient tank. That will distract the android technician. They don't appear to do anything. They don't appear to do anything.
Hello! I was not expecting a visitor. A puddle? The tank must be leaking.
Humans 1, androids 0. It's a foul-smelling chemical soup. I'm not risking my fingers in that stuff. It looks like the stuff that lamb eats. It's sticky and slightly astringent, making my fingers tingle. Never. Better be careful I don't fall in there. There's a weird fetus thing floating in it. Whoever said babies were cute? The casing is thin, but very hard. There's a weird fetus thing floating in it. Whoever said babies were cute? The casing is thin, but very hard. No obvious explanation of what it's controlling. There aren't any manual controls. There's a weird... Whoever's... There's a rubbery man in there. So that's how androids are created. This tank isn't occupied. The casing is thin, but very hard. I've got a hunch I'll need to open that. No way of opening. Whatever's behind that door must be important. That's the most secure lock I've ever seen. No manual controls. Never mind. It's a view of the reactor. They're linked to surveillance cameras. This monitor is switched off. It's displaying some info. Another entrance to Weird World. You've saved me the bother of coming to find you. I should have guessed you were part of all this. Why do you think Reich had to die when he tried to kill you? Or that meddling girl who tried to help you escape? Link needs you alive, Overman. That's why it planned this family reunion.
Get out while you can, Rob.
Stop! Tell me what you want from me!
You won't be needing this robot where you're going.
It's an android. Aha! Another ID card from my collection. It wasn't Joey's lucky day. Poor Joey didn't last long in that shell. I'll take his board as a memento. The computer is controlling the tank and displaying its readings on the monitor. Pressing the keys has no effect. Nothing seems to have happened. There are strands of tissue suspended in this tank. Whoa! The liquid in the tank has burned my hand! Whatever's in there is extremely cold. Whatever's in it could be liquid nitrogen. Instant frostbite if I put my hand in there. It's a fully formed android body. There's no point in searching the android again. Pressing the key. Ha! The virus has caused the program to crash. They're like the ones used by surgeons. I've got a fresh sample now. The tissue is frozen now. I've got a fresh sample now. The tissue is frozen now. The monitor has gone crazy now. I wonder how the virus has affected the tissue. The cabinet has a door. There's an expansion port in the cabinet. The cabinet has a door. The cabinet. There's a computer for each. A computer for each of these androids. Joey's board fits snugly in. How do you feel, Joey?
I'm not entirely sure, sir. I feel soft and curiously vulnerable.
That's because you're practically human.
And this feeling of insecurity is natural?
Oh yeah, you'll get used to it.
By the way, sir, take my advice. Don't wake the other androids.
Why not?
If they've been programmed, they'll terminate you.
I think you need a new name, Joey.
I concur with your observation, Mr. Foster. What do you consider an appropriate sobriquet?
I'm gonna call you Ken.
That's wonderful news, sir. Tell me, are there any memorable Kens in history? A Ken whom I might seek to emulate?
All the Kens I can think of were dorks.
Splendid! It will be my mission in life to make the name Ken synonymous with dorks.
How do you like your new body?
It's wonderful, sir. There's just one thing.
What's that?
When will I be getting the accessories?
I don't know what you mean.
Ears, body hair, those little decorative parts?
You're better off without them, believe me. Thanks for saving me from the android.
My actions were the only logical course. What I cannot comprehend is how an android could behave in such an irrational manner. Why, it was almost as if he was human.
What did he mean by a family reunion?
Since your mother was killed, that leaves only...
My father.
You never speak of him, do you?
That's because I can't remember him.
Can't or won't, sir?
Are we close to Link's core?
Almost certainly, sir. I can sense its presence in a strange and mysterious way.
Like the old man, the pictures in the campfire. He saw it too, the evil beneath the city. And then he died with the rest of the tribe.
This isn't the time for remorse, sir. You must destroy the evil and avenge their deaths.
Never mind. It's storage. For what, I couldn't guess. The metal is solid and impenetrable. It's storage. The metal is solid and impenetrable. I'm obviously supposed to put my hand on that. That tickles. No way of opening it. Place your hand on that lock sensor.
With pleasure, sir.
That tickles. Let's try that hand sensor again.
I suggest we touch the sensors simultaneously, sir.
Hey, Rubber Man! What's wrong with you?
I appear to have a problem, sir. My hand has melted onto the door.
I don't like to leave you here.
I'll be free in no time, sir. Have you got an axe?
No, I haven't. Why?
You could have used it to sever my hand.
That's unthinkable. Still stuck?
I'm afraid so, sir. It's frustrating, to say the least.
Never mind. Hey, Rubber Man! Would these tongs help to free you?
Not a chance, sir.
Hey, Rubber Man! Got it. I can pry you free with this crowbar.
Smart thinking, sir. Unfortunately, the use of leverage is inapplicable.
Hey, Rubber Man! It's a grisly thought. But maybe I can snip your fingers with these shears.
I had already thought of that, sir. Unfortunately, it couldn't be done. My skin is far tougher than yours.
Hey, Rubber Man! I've got this lump of plaster.
Totally useless, sir.
Hey,
It's a block of clay and sand, hardened by baking, sir. Totally useless, sir.
Hey! Would this cable be any use to you?
This is hardly the time for bondage, sir.
Hey! Maybe I could free you with my wrench.
I hardly think so, sir. A wrench seems most inappropriate in this situation.
They serve as a ladder. It's supplying nourishment to that organism. That's the last place I want to end up. There aren't any controls on the spout. It's sucking and stretching out for nourishment. It's sucking and It's what keeps the pipes in place. Completely solid. Rats! I can't climb to the cable from here. Hanging that cable there was a waste of time. If I jumped to the cable, I'd be stuck there. It's supplying nourishment to that organism. It's Yes, I've poisoned the sludge. At last, that must lead somewhere. If I swing on that, I'll either reach the exit or die. This could be the second most stupid thing I've ever done. Father?
Is that Robert? Oh, my son. Why did you come here?
I thought you'd be glad to see me.
I did everything I could to stop you. You're in terrible danger. Get away.
I'm taking you with me. How do I disconnect you from the machine?
Listen to me. Link needs a replacement for my brain. And the best choice was someone related by blood. It sent Reich and his goons to bring you here. Link killed Reich when he threatened you.
But if Link wanted me alive, why did it wreck the helicopter?
That was my doing, Robert. I managed to wrest control from Link for a few seconds, long enough to cause the crash. I hope to spare you my fate, Robert.
Ken, you're just in time.
I thought you might need a hand, sir. I've got a bad feeling about this, sir.
What happened, Father?
Link has rejected me. And without it, I'll die.
Help me, quickly!
What do you want me to do, sir?
Sit in that chair.
Are you going to plug me into Link, sir? I hope you know what you're doing. Something is happening, I think. Yes, I'm gaining control. I found my destiny, Mr. Foster.
Can you ever forgive me, Robert?
For letting your machine kill my mother?
Please, try to understand. It was the greatest experiment ever devised. Tapping the unexplored depths of the human brain. The potential of the subconscious mind.
You fused with this machine deliberately?
It was a well-considered plan, my boy.
Well considered? It was nothing but megalomania.
I had a dream. The fusion process was an apparent success, but the computer shared access to my human failings. It learned of greed, of vanity. It reveled in the power it wielded. I was almost powerless in the hands of this monster.
Which is the monster, Father? The computer or you?
Robert. Oh, Robert! You were my only reason for wanting to live.
Father? Father! Too late. It's over now.
About the vacancy in the sewage grading plant, Howard. Perhaps we should assign the position to Gilbert Lamb.
Hello, Mr. Hobbins.
Hello, son. What do you want?
I've come to say goodbye.
You still plan to go back to the Gap?
Yeah, I've had it with city life. I'm certainly gonna miss you both. Why don't you come too?
We got enough to do. Getting Union City back to normal.
I reckon you'll make a great team.
Will you come back to visit us, sir?
I'm not sure about that, Ken. But I'll be thinking of you. Oh, by the way, Mr. Hobbins. Here's your wrench.
Thanks, son. I'll need that if Ken gives me any trouble.
Goodbye, friends. And thanks.
Be vigilant.